The Power of Talk, Who Gets Heard and Why Abstract. This article examines the factors that influence whose voices and perspectives gain influence within organizations. Through a review of the relevant literature across communication styles, cognitive biases, social hierarchies, and group dynamics. This research brief explores how certain individuals are more likely to have their ideas heard and shape outcomes based on attributes such as extraversion, confidence levels, gender, and social status. Biases in how competence and expertise are perceived unconsciously privilege those with characteristics aligning with dominant identity groups. However, practical recommendations are provided for how leaders can cultivate a more inclusive culture where diverse viewpoints have equal chance to meaningfully contribute. Examples from leading companies demonstrate the power of establishing equity norms, implementing unbiased processes, utilizing impartial third parties, and investing in feedback and development across employee demographics. The research stresses the need for multidimensional approaches acknowledging both individual and systemic barriers limiting diverse organizational voices. The words we say, and who we say them to, can have profound power and implications. As consultants and researchers, we study organizational dynamics and seek to understand how communication flows within companies and teams. Through my work helping diverse groups find their voice and be heard, I've seen firsthand how certain individuals and perspectives consistently rise to the top, while others struggle to break through. This research brief explores the factors that shape whose voices get amplified and influence outcomes within organizations. It examines the research foundation on communication styles, biases, and hierarchies, and provides practical recommendations and industry examples for how leaders can cultivate a culture where diverse viewpoints have equal opportunity to contribute. The research on communication styles. A wealth of research shows communication styles significantly impact whose perspectives are heard. Scholars have studied differences along dimensions like extraversion versus introversion, agreeableness versus argumentativeness, and confidence versus humility. For example, extroverts tend to speak more, interrupt others less, and command attention in group settings. Grant et al. 2018. Introverts, meanwhile, more likely to let extroverts take the lead and have their ideas overshadowed. Similarly, research finds confident, assertive speakers are unconsciously perceived as more competent and listened to more closely than those with meeker, more self-effacing styles. Rudman, 1998. People higher in agreeableness, who voice dissent less confrontationally, also risk being overlooked. Graziano et al. 1996. And masculine, agentic styles of communication have been shown to carry more weight than feminine. Communal styles emphasizing connection and consensus building. Amanatula and Morris. 2010. Breskel, 2016. Biases in whose input is valued. Underpinning differences in communication style are deeper cognitive and social biases that shape which voices get priority. Confirmation bias leads people to give more credence to views aligning with their own. Discounting dissenting perspectives. Nickerson, 1998. The halo and horn effects also come into play, where positively viewed individuals benefit from assumptions of competence across domains, versus those seen negatively. Nisbet and Wilson, 1977. Research further shows people unconsciously associate leadership and authority with male versus female qualities. Koenig et al. 2011. Ryan and Haslam, 2005. As such, men may have an easier time being heard as experts despite equal qualifications. Attractiveness bias also often benefits more conventionally good-looking individuals, who are seen as more charismatic, competent leaders. Mazur, 1986. Mulford et al. 1998. Perhaps most influentially, status characteristics theory explains how socially conferred traits like gender, age, race, or tenure shape automatic assumptions of competence and expertise. Berger et al. 1977. Fushi, 1996. Simply put, dominant identity groups have an inherent leg up being listened to and followed over minority groups. The impact of these biases can compound to substantially influence whose perspectives gain traction, reinforcing hierarchies through social dynamics while biases creep in individually. Research shows they are greatly reinforced through social hierarchies and group norms that develop over time. Ridgway and Johnson. 1990. For example, in male-dominated industries like tech, norms emerge where assertiveness is expected and passivity is discouraged, making it harder for women's ideas to be heard on equal terms. More. 2017. Tracy et al. 2006. Conversely, in female-led organizations like educational nonprofits, cooperation and consensus are prized, potentially sidelining perspectives seen as too aggressive. Vungas and Ulhudge. 2015. Simply adopting masculine versus feminine styles of interaction versus their true competence can advance certain voices above others. Powerful network positions within organizations also compound influence, with tight inner circles shaping consensus without consideration of outside views. Brass. 1984. Cross and Parker, 2004. The application, creating an inclusive culture of ideas with research pointing to the many layers influencing organizational voice. How can leaders ensure a diversity of perspectives are equitably represented and heard? Here are 4 practical recommendations supported by lessons learned. 1. Establish norms valuing multiple styles. Research indicates introducing norms explicitly valuing varying communication styles can counter biases favoring any single approach. Hansen et al. 2014. Heilman and Haynes, 2005. For example, NASA established cultural norms encouraging both assertive debating and empathic listening to solicit ideas from diverse teams working in high-risk environments. Starr. 1995. Similarly, by fostering norms where introversion is seen as a strength, not weakness, Intuit leverages varied perspectives for product innovation. 2. Implement structures for equitable contribution from assigning devil's advocate roles to rotating leadership. Research finds structured processes better elicit views beyond dominant voices. Cray and Gonzalez. 1999. Woolley et al. 2010. For example, automatic requires topic leads in company meetings change weekly, distributing influence. Similarly, check-ins where everyone shares versus open floor formats benefiting extroverts. Give voice to different styles. 3. Provide impartial third parties for mediation, bringing in unbiased external facilitators or workplace ombudsmen for mediating disputes. Counters in-group biases that can drown out outsider views. Bendesky and Hayes. 2012. Lipsky et al. 2014. At Microsoft, third parties help diverse teams resolve conflicts to maintain collaboration essential for technical progress. Similarly, 3M cultivates a culture where any employee can bring ideas to corporate venture groups, ensuring impartial vetting. 4. Invest in unbiased feedback and development, seeking 360-degree performance ratings counters halo effects, privileging popular voices and helps build competency across styles. Atwater and Yammarino. 1997. London and Smither, 2002. For instance, Google uses anonymous peer feedback and multi-rater assessments to identify strengths and blind spots company-wide that may otherwise be overlooked. Similarly, diligent sponsorship programs at Accenture and Merck support underrepresented groups attaining leadership, visibility and equal opportunity to have their voices heard. Conclusion in researching how certain voices rise over others within organizations. Clear drivers emerge around both individual communication styles and deeper social psychological biases reinforced through unquestioned group norms and power dynamics. However, the research also indicates practical steps leaders can take to establish an inclusive culture where diverse viewpoints are equitably represented and have a chance to meaningfully contribute. By scrutinizing hierarchies, valuing multiple perspectives, and explicitly designing structures enabling fair contribution and development, companies can realize untapped potential and better solve complex challenges by hearing from all available talent. While no single solution suffices, a multidimensional commitment to meritocracy over easy assumptions is key.